They had this deck surrounding around their house for about 25 years, and it needed to come out. So we repurposed the wood for this.
Oh, I'm having garden envy right now. Hello and welcome to the Handy Women YouTube channel. I'm your host, Geraldine Anello. I am the founder of the Handy Women community, which you can find at the link below on Facebook. There's over 55,000 of us, super awesome women doing their own handiwork. And our mission at Handy Women is to empower women with tools. And to do that today, we're going to talk about a special garden repurpose with my guest, Brittany Fraser. Hi, Brittany.
Hi, hello.
Hi, can I take a look at that gorgeous garden repurpose before you tell us what was there first?
Of course. Let me flip. Here we go.
Oh, I'm having garden envy right now. So what was there when you moved into the house?
Absolutely nothing. It was actually extremely grown up with just random trees and bushes and, you know, all the terrible things that take forever to remove. But in our house, this is the best place for sun exposure all day. So I knew that's where we wanted to build this. And we were just so lucky to be able to come across this beautiful redwood from my husband's father. Actually, they had this deck surrounding around their house for about 25 years, and it needed to come out. So we repurposed the wood for this.
What amazing history, actually.
Yeah, it's actually been, I think, a long time ago. His father, his name is Bob. He actually traveled all the way to California to get redwood because at that time you could not purchase redwood in Arkansas.
Interesting. So how did you decide on the measurements? Was it determined by how much of the fence you had?
Actually, that's a really great question. So I knew that I wanted it to cover a large amount of space, and we actually had more of this railing available to us. It was a very large deck. It was actually repurposed from two separate decks that they had on their two-story home. So what I did was I watched the sun, and I made sure that it would get enough sunlight all day long for how large I wanted to make it. And we were able to build it almost exactly how large I wanted it to be for the load that we had gotten at that time. So we had to drive down to a different town about 2 hours away in order to even pick up the wood. So we were just grateful that we got enough.
That's beautiful. And I see there are a lot of sections. You've got a carpet in there, you've got raised beds, you've got so many things. So what did you do first? In what order did sections come in?
Right. So the first thing that we did was we actually built the beds. And I'll go in here so you can see them a little bit closer. This is zucchini and squash, by the way. It's very large right now. So the first thing we did was we measured out each bed and built those to spec. So I knew that I wanted a little bit of a walk space in between the beds so I could garden easily. And then one at the end. And we actually repurposed some of the other wood, that can be a separate thing that we talk about, but into our fence gates in our front house. So that's why we have this fence back here. So we repurposed some of the fencing for trailing vegetables. So that was the first thing that we did, and we built these beds as well. It actually makes an L, but it's kind of hard to see with all the vegetation.
How did you go about making the beds? Did you make them outside and then put them in the garden, or did you build them straight in the garden?
So the first...
I lost you. Can you bring the camera back on?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting a call. So the first thing that we did was I actually drew the plans. So everything that we have ever done in this home and in previous homes that we've lived, I always draw the plans first. So I wanted to make sure that we knew exactly how we wanted it to be structured, and that we had enough wood to be able to build what we wanted. So first things first is the drawing. And then after that, we came out and we literally built the beds here. We had an extension cord and all of the power tools and everything that we needed to be able to build the beds and structure them here, because this wood, though fairly light for what it is pretty heavy once you get everything built. So we knew we didn't want to move a whole lot of wood more than once. So
Okay, I see. And then once you had the raised beds, what came next? Did you put, first of all, are they secured to the ground?
No, actually. So they are just beds that I filled with compost and vermiculite and a few other dirt type things. And they're so structurally sound, and the way that they're put together, that there's really no need to have to secure them. Especially, yeah, and especially with the weight of the dirt and everything, they're never going to move.
Okay, and what came after that? What did you put the bricks around them?
So what came after is figuring out how we wanted to do all of the railing. This was a little bit more complicated, where we had to use, I actually don't know the name of it, but it's a specific type of shovel that is made for digging holes, like for posts. It's probably called a post shovel. But we did that, and we measured out exactly where we needed them to go. So we planned for the entryway to have two, so they're very structured. You know, they're not going to move from where they're at. And then we just went down the line. I think maybe 5 or 6 feet is where we put posts at. And you'll see this one is a little bit wonky. It's just whenever we were doing it, it's the pole in and of itself, like where it's cemented, is just a little bit further out from these others. And that was just a mistake. So just something to keep in mind if you are building a fence, to make sure that all the posts line up. Otherwise, you'll get that.
That's for sure. And how are they tied to each other?
So we just use screws. They're all screwed in, and this right here is just chicken wire. It's not structural. It's just to keep bunnies out.
Yes. But I still don't understand how the posts are connecting to each other, because the screws you showed me are from up to down, but how do they connect horizontally?
So we've got a couple of pieces that we've put in beside it that we've screwed in from either side. So we've got these, and then this railing was just original from the Repurpose, and they were already structurally put together. So the only thing that we had to do, I think if I can find it, is on the post, it's screwed into the top, and then it's screwed into the side. So I think we've got, or maybe I think we use some nails in here too, but we've got screws here and then screws on the top.
Got it. And
yeah.
That's how they work. Okay, great. And what about the rest of the garden? So I see you've got some large type of bricks, and you've got lots of different texture on the ground. At what point did you put those in?
Are you speaking about these over here?
I was talking about inside the garden itself.
Oh, okay.
Like those.
Oh, I'm so sorry. These are not bricks.
These are cardboard. But what about on the side? There you go. On the left. Those. Is this more cardboard?
Yeah.
God.
I guess that's why I was confused. Yeah.
What's the blue in the back? What's the blue in the back?
It's a tarp, and that's a rug.
Oh my God. Well, the rug, I could tell what. Wow.
You know, well, that gives me a good thing to talk about as well. So all of these rugs are repurposed as well. There's actually a Facebook group that I'm on for gardeners. And in my area, I posted and asked for rug donations for people who were just going to throw them away. So we have quite a few actually, and a few very large ones, and these were all given to us for free. So instead of putting them in the dump, we were able to repurpose them into weed suppression. So it doesn't work the best, but it does help quite a bit. And it's actually kind of nice. I like the one on the end because it's actually an outdoor rug. So it's kind of fun to be able to sit out here and just enjoy the sun and pick my peas and my cucumbers.
Weed suppression. That's such a helpful tip right there. Have you ever used a carpet for weed suppression? Write it down in the comments if you have, or have you been fighting weed this entire time? Write it down in the comment. Okay, so let's look at that mulch you have outside in that little like aesthetic area with the actual bricks that are actually bricks.
Yeah, so those were repurposed as well. We had a fairly large garden bed in the front yard that we weren't really fond of. So we took all this brick out from the front and repurposed it back here.
Wow,
and then,
it was a repurpose.
Yeah, and this was super easy. I didn't use any type of like cementation or glue or anything. I literally just laid it all out and then put the dirt in and put mulch in. And one thing that I absolutely love to do is go to like your local Lowe's or Home Depot or just a general department store that has a gardening section. And this time of year, you can get perennial plants for half off or even cheaper. So that's what I did because they may not be pretty today or tomorrow, but they'll come back next year and be beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Well, this is all very beautiful. So congratulations on a successful repurpose.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you're watching this, write in the comment, do you have a garden? How did you go about doing your garden? I want to know. So write it in the comment and make sure to like and subscribe for more. Thank you so much, Brittany.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.